But what I'm telling you is, if that it make you a rat too if you with him because I told him to do that. I can't tell no to snitch. You can't get on the phone and tell me, hey bro, hell yeah, take that plea. But man, you better take that plea. And the plea saying tell. The plea saying tell something.
This motherfucker Wayne from New Orleans. I'm from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. This was in Atlanta and I was in New Orleans. I said, what the fuck? That was so weird.
10 years twin behind this shit. Rosco, you did 10 years behind it, brother. And you just come on the internet and say, didn't tell on you when everybody just heard this man say your name a few times? You feel?
Hey, Young Thug done come out snitching. Young Thug got a video in the interrogation room for 2 hours, having dialogue with the police about crime and criminals.
Welcome back to Fame Flux, where the truth behind fame gets exposed. Young Thug reportedly facing trouble in Atlanta. That's the rumor running rampant right now. And the timing could not be worse for his image or his legal battles. Social media has erupted after an old interrogation clip resurfaced.
This was in Atlanta and I was in New Orleans. I said, what the fuck? That was so weird. This nigga wasn't. They done shot at this to us. Honestly, I don't know who the fuck did it. They said Rosco, but I don't wanna block out y'all case.
Sparking fresh accusations and a wave of speculation that threatens to overshadow everything else surrounding him. In the footage now circulating online, critics are calling him out for alleged hypocrisy. He previously criticized others for cooperating with law enforcement. But now commentators claim the resurfaced clip looks compromising. Words like rat, tell-all, and naming Pee-wee are dominating timelines and fueling Atlanta's blogosphere. At the same time, unverified reports suggest he was confronted or mobbed in public, with some posts implying a physical altercation. Is any of this 100% confirmed? Not yet. But in today's fast-paced digital environment, once a headline like that appears, it takes on a life of its own, shaping public perception before the facts are verified.
Shots were fired at the tour bus of Grammy-winning rapper Lil Wayne on the 26th of April. Footage from the NBC affiliate in Atlanta, Georgia, showed several bullet holes in the side of the bus, but no injuries were reported. The station said that the shots were fired at the bus as it was traveling through Cobb County, Georgia. The rapper, also known as Weezy, whose real name is Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., was traveling in the bus after his performance in Atlanta. In 2008, Wayne won Grammy Awards for the Best Rap Album, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Solo Performance, and was part of the award-winning Best Rap Group Performance.
The clip repeatedly shared allegedly links back to Pee-wee Rosco and the infamous Lil Wayne tour bus shooting, a case that has hung over Atlanta's rap community for nearly a decade. This is not random gossip. It's rooted in one of the city's most notorious incidents. Roll back to April 2015. Lil Wayne's tour bus is sprayed with bullets in Cobb County just moments after a show. Nobody was physically harmed, but the attack was serious enough to leave a lasting imprint. It felt like an attempt to send a deadly message right on the road in full public view. Authorities pinned the act on Jimmy Winfrey, also known as Pee-wee Rosco, who at the time was serving as Young Thug's road manager.
This motherfucker Wayne from New Orleans. I'm from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. This was in Atlanta and I was in New Orleans. I said, what the fuck? That was so weird. They done shot at this to us. I don't know who the fuck did it. They said Rosco, but I don't wanna block out y'all case by saying Rosco didn't do that. You know Rosco? Man, that man fucking scrub. That fool. I'm like, you shot at somebody, bro? But I don't fucking know, because every day niggas broke a fucking ball. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Court documents tied the shooting back to YSL affiliates, citing phone records showing calls made to Thug's phone just before the incident and additional calls made afterward to Birdman. That chain of communication immediately fueled speculation about involvement and raised difficult questions about loyalty, retaliation, and hidden agendas. While Young Thug and Birdman were never charged with firing the shots themselves, their names and reputations have remained intertwined with the case. This lingering connection, combined with fresh leaks and renewed social media attention.
Mr. Williams was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. He was adamant. He seemed very nervous. because, you know, I'm a uniform officer just coming up with this stuff in him, right? In some story he's coming to on his free time. A few weeks go by, maybe 3, because I got the DNA fast-tracked through the GBI. I learned from the analysts there were too many male contributors to the gun being identified Jeffrey Williams being in possession of. They wouldn't be able to put a usable sample up into CODIS. So a few weeks later, Mr. Williams comes back in the store again. I don't know what day, but it was weeks after the first encounter. I said, yo, come here, let me holler at you. I said, guess what? I can't use that gun against you as corroborative evidence or evidence against you based off what Bean said. So I tell you what, I'm done with it. I did some research on you independently because I didn't know you were about to blow up. I said, and excuse my language, I said, go make $1 million, stay the fuck off, please. That's what I said to him.
Has put the topic back under an intense spotlight, reinforcing a narrative that refuses to fade from Atlanta's hip-hop history. That case became impossible to shake. For nearly a decade, any mention of the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting automatically led back to questions about Young Thug and Birdman. Even without direct charges, the association never disappeared. Then the situation became even more complex. In 2015, Jimmy Winfrey, also known as Pee Wee Rosco,
clean as Listerine, man, clean as Ivory soap. You feel what I'm saying? I done the time. I did that. That's what you supposed to do. When you go in the interrogation room, that's what you do. He told you, man, we sell the Wayne Carter weed. What the fuck is wrong with you? You feel what I'm saying? No, a statement is this right here. Lineup selective. That's him. He did that. He didn't do that. He did what a taxpaying citizen do. A real street. Kept it solid. Kept it overly real. You feel what I'm saying? Really tried to pull me out the hole. So shit, I don't, you feel what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the PR now, y'all don't remember when I was locked up. Now, let me just show you how the PRs and the internet selective politics. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it real. When I was locked up and Jeff was locked up, we went viral when they was like, that's the type of friend you want. He was like, man, Rosco ain't told y'all. That's the beauty there. That's the right thing. You feel what I'm saying? Like all those niggas, everybody is in the state room, in the interrogation room, and they gave statements. You know, we're gonna throw the paperwork party tomorrow.
Received a lengthy prison sentence for the attack. But years later, the Georgia Supreme Court overturned that sentence, ruling that his plea deal had been mishandled. When the YSL-RICO indictment erupted, the bus shooting story slid right back into headlines, reigniting speculation that had been simmering under the surface. Fast forward to 2024, Rosco takes a new plea deal, is credited with time served, receives probation, and walks free. The reaction online was explosive. Commentators and fans alike began suggesting that someone high up must have been protected for such a deal to happen, creating new waves of conspiracy and speculation across the hip-hop community. Then came the interrogation clip. Out of nowhere, a short, chopped-up video surfaces, allegedly showing Young Thug in a room with detectives. Fans and critics immediately zoom in on a single word: rat. They claim he mentioned Pee Wee Rosco, implying something incriminating. Whether that's accurate or not remains unclear, but the clip hit social media like wildfire. This was the moment that merged years of rumors into one focal point. After nearly a decade of whispers about the bus shooting, suddenly there appeared to be footage, however incomplete, linking Thug to conversations about the case. Because the video is short, messy, and mostly shared by commentary pages, context is almost impossible to verify. But online, nobody slows down to check. In seconds, the reaction turned instant and unforgiving. Hypocrisy became the trending accusation. Commentators now claim they finally understood the tension with Gunna and the accusations that have been thrown at other YSL affiliates. Whether or not that's fair, the optics alone created a perfect storm of backlash. In a digital culture where perception is often stronger than proof, the word rat echoed louder than any fact check could. The conversation around Young Thug shifted quickly. Many observers now believe the same standard Thug used against Gunna is boomeranging back onto him, and the reaction has been fierce. Thug took to X to defend himself, insisting the interrogation clip was taken out of context and claiming he was protecting his associate rather than exposing him. Supporters boosted the portions of his statement where he denied gang ties or pushed back on specific law enforcement questions, framing it as evidence that he stayed solid. That didn't stop the controversy. The interrogation video reignited a wound that had never fully healed, and social media treated it like fresh fuel. Timelines filled with reposted clips, speculation threads, and so-called explainers breaking down the alleged 2-hour interrogation session. Hashtags began trending, memes circulated widely, and commentators debated whether the footage represented a confession, a defense, or simply misinterpretation. Then, just as it seemed the backlash had peaked, another explosive revelation surfaced. Users digging through public court files uncovered a new piece of paperwork, a motion filed by Young Thug's legal team. This motion in limine requested that the court block Detective Quinn from testifying about alleged comments Thug reportedly made in the back of a police vehicle, comments tied to an old murder investigation. The motion described the detective's claims as false, prejudicial, and irrelevant to the ongoing case. Legal shorthand for "this information unfairly harms our client's image and doesn't directly relate to the current charges." With that single filing, the narrative deepened. Instead of cooling off, the public discourse exploded again, adding yet another layer to a high-profile legal battle already under an intense microscope. This is the moment where Young Thug's public image became even more tangled. Online audiences rarely pause to understand court motions or evidentiary rules. They focus on the narrative, and the narrative now dominating social media is simple. Thug cooperates with authorities when it benefits him. Whether that's factual or not is secondary. Perception has already hardened and timelines have chosen sides. Then came a dramatic twist. Pee Wee Rosco, the very figure linked to the original bus shooting headlines, appeared and issued a statement directly defending Thug. In a widely shared video clip, Rosco clarified that Thug never snitched on him and urged people to stop overreacting. He appeared calm, deliberate, and determined to cool the conversation. On paper, this should have been the turning point that restored balance to the story. Instead, it fueled more controversy. Critics dismissed Roscoe's defense as biased, arguing that his loyalty might be tied to benefits or ongoing support rather than pure principle. The question echoing across blogs remained, if nothing improper occurred, why do the phone records and repeated legal connections keep resurfacing? Atlanta media outlets continued looping back to the tour bus shooting timeline, highlighting phone calls linked to both Thug and Birdman before and after the shots. Those long-standing details ensured the case never fully disappeared, and Pee Wee's comments didn't erase a decade of speculation. Then, just as the discourse was peaking, YSL Mondo, widely regarded as a day-one presence in the group's early days, jumped into the debate. Mondo criticized the narrative directly, accusing people of being brainwashed and implying that Pee Wee's public defense of Thug was motivated by benefits rather than genuine loyalty. His remarks added a new layer of tension, fueling a debate over credibility, motives, and the meaning of loyalty in Atlanta's music scene. When individuals who were actually present during key moments begin speaking publicly, it signals a clear shift in street credibility and perception. Commentators framed Mondo's statements as a turning point, circulating highlight reels and short clips that amplified the most inflammatory sound bites and drew massive attention across social platforms. Then Charleston White entered the conversation, intensifying the debate. Known for his uncompromising commentary, he declared that true gangsters immediately ask for legal counsel rather than sit for prolonged interrogations. His remarks ridiculed anyone spending hours in police rooms, adding another layer of public ridicule to an already volatile situation. Combined with Mondo's pointed accusations, Charleston White's comments became a 1-2 punch shaping the online narrative. Memes, reaction videos, and animated posts flooded timelines. Each new upload chipped away at reputations faster than any court document or news article could. In the digital arena, perception now outweighed the pending case. Adding to the turmoil, rumor-focused accounts on social media escalated matters by pushing unverified claims that Thug had been pressed in public. Some captions went even further, using the word jumped, without any supporting footage or official confirmation. Despite the lack of evidence, the headlines spread rapidly, functioning as fact in the eyes of many followers. That cycle of sensational posts, repeated screenshots, and comment section speculation further cemented the idea that Thug's image had fractured. With no verified footage to counter the claims, digital rumor mills drove the narrative, and every repost magnified the sense that the once unshakable brand of YSL and its leader was slipping. One unverified rumor can instantly shift public perception, turning the entire city into an arena of speculation about whether a figure can still move freely through Atlanta without incident. Beyond the social media chatter, there are serious legal stakes at play. Being on probation means that even incidental contact with controversy or chaotic crowds could have heavy consequences. This is no longer just about street narratives or online gossip. Courts can interpret association as evidence, and even the appearance of involvement in disorder could jeopardize hard-won legal arrangements. The boxed-in image grows stronger, with courtroom pressure on one side and relentless online commentary on the other, forming a tightening vice of scrutiny. Adding to the turmoil, rumor-driven pages flooded timelines with alleged jail call recordings. These clips mixed petty shots, number games, and whispers about fake streaming tactics supposedly meant to one-up rivals. Whether authentic or fabricated, their publication sparked a snowball effect impossible to control once blogs and commentary channels amplified them. Industry names and media personalities then began reposting, subtweeting, and dissecting the claims, giving the perception of friction with almost everyone at once. When online audiences believe both the streets and the industry have turned, even implausible rumors like a pressing or confrontation start to feel credible because the narrative alignment appears too neat to ignore. Adding legal gravity to the story, the bus driver from the 2015 shooting filed a civil lawsuit naming Birdman, Thug, and others, alleging negligence and endangerment. Even though lawsuits differ from criminal charges, the headlines hardened public opinion, reinforcing the impression of a long-running saga with dangerous consequences and unresolved accountability. These new developments made the storyline feel less like rumor and more like documented history. Public perception quickly linked the resurfaced clip to older controversies, including the infamous Birdman jail call that prosecutors once flagged as part of their case file. Even though it ultimately went nowhere, its very existence kept conspiracy narratives alive for years, shaping how fans interpret anything new. So when a resurfaced interview circulated online, audiences didn't view it as an isolated moment. Instead, they folded it into a long timeline of legal headlines, whispered alliances, and ongoing court cases. Thug's team labeled it misdirection, but large portions of the crowd interpreted it as confirmation. It became two different movies playing simultaneously in the same theater, each side convinced of its own version. Attempts to steer the story often amplified it, posting denials on social media, referencing gang affiliations, and indirectly shading rivals, all fed the algorithm rather than cooling the speculation. Even legal motions about Detective Quinn, intended to block potentially prejudicial testimony, were reduced to short, sensational sound bites. Audiences weren't reading filings, they were scrolling through clips. As a result, the story moved from courtroom evidence to public spectacle. Memes appeared overnight, turning serious legal context into comedic material. Online creators mocked his image with gospel-style edits, crosses, and exaggerated captions. This gospel wave transformed high-stakes allegations into viral punchlines, hardening public opinion and making it increasingly difficult for any PR effort to shift the narrative back toward neutrality. Pee-wee's plea deal last year already kept Young Thug's name tethered to the YSL storm. Dates and filings stick in public memory, especially when the Gunna situation had already fractured the fan base. Online, the narrative always gets boiled down to one thing. You're either solid or you folded. Real life is far more complex, but the comment section doesn't do complex. It deals in absolutes. Right now, Thug stands caught in every lane at once. In court, he's still battling the YSL case, and every new filing drags up the Wayne bus shooting all over again. In music, anticipation for new material has cooled, replaced by gospel-style memes and endless reaction posts. On social platforms, rumor pages circulate claims that he can't even move through Atlanta without some type of drama. No matter what he posts or how often he denies the allegations, the paperwork and clips echo louder than any tweet. Even Pee-wee's attempts to clear the air backfired, driving fans to dig harder into old records. When the internet believes you're talking to police and the streets believe you're being pressed outside, your name stops representing hits and starts becoming a cautionary label. Young Thug, rumored to have been jumped in Atlanta, surrounded by leaks and tapes that never seem to disappear, now sits at the center of a narrative he cannot escape. His public image has shifted from chart-topping artist to a case study of loyalty, pressure, and perception in the digital age, making every move he takes feel like a high-stakes test. If you've watched this far, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. We're continuing to track how these stories unfold and break down the truths, rumors, and shifting power dynamics shaping hip-hop today.